Have you ever seen those who, when someone wants to take a picture of them, they immediately cover their faces and duck and they say, "No, no"? Now, I could understand their hair was messy, but some are simply ashamed because of the way they look. They lack self-esteem. They go around defeated in life because they feel unattractive and inadequate. It's a foolish way to live. The next time someone wants to take a picture of you, smile and say, "That's the way the good Lord made me, and I'm determined I'm not going to be ashamed of how I look." You'd be much happier if you learned this lesson. This is such a big issue in our society, with celebrity worship and the media continually assaulting us on how we should conform to certain looks. And because of that, many feel dissatisfied about their appearances. Learning that nobody is perfect and everyone has problems is critical to having good self-esteem. One of the great problems today is that the media gives the impression that sexual attractiveness is the key to a woman's self-esteem. Many stores prominently display top-selling magazines with provocative covers which urge women to attract men with shocking attire and sexual techniques. Since sex is so body-focused, women often become dissatisfied with their bodies. Some diet even though they're not overweight. Others have breast augmentation and cosmetic surgery to reach culture's unrealistic ideal. Wise men and women learn to accept their bodies and focus instead on character. Issues like integrity, kindness, compassion, generosity, and courtesy. I'm not suggesting men and women shouldn't take care of themselves physically, but an obsession for a perfectly sculptured body instead of a personality and character is unwise and unhealthy. Remember, many quality men are searching for women whose focus is on inner rather than outer beauty. The opposite is also true. Many quality women are looking for men with character. What's the key to having a healthy self-esteem? Think positively. Lift up your chin and look straight ahead. Never be ashamed of the way you were born. Listen to this, what I'm going to say next. Remember, change what you can change and learn to accept what you cannot change. A healthy self-esteem is critical to success. Dale Carnegie in How to Stop Worrying and Start Living tells a story of Elmer Thomas, a former senator from Oklahoma. Thomas said, "I was constantly tormented by worries and fears and self-consciousness. I was extremely tall for my age and as thin as a fence rail. I stood 6 feet 2 inches and weighed only 118 pounds. The kids poked fun at him and called him Hatchet Face. In recalling what happened, Thomas said, "Every day and every hour of the day, I brooded over my tall, gaunt, weak body. I could hardly think of anything else." His mother advised him, "Son, you ought to get an education. You ought to make your living with your mind because your body will always be a handicap." Thomas went to college, but he still had that inferiority complex. Then something happened that turned his life around. His mother urged him to enter a speaking contest at a fair. And this is what he said, "I didn't have the courage to talk even to one person, let alone a crowd. But my mother's faith inspired me to enter the contest." He memorized the speech and rehearsed it 100 times. He won first prize. He was astounded. Those boys who had ridiculed and poked fun at him said, "I knew you could do it, Elmer." His mother hugged him and cried. Then he said, "As I look back in retrospect, I can see that winning that speaking contest was the turning point of my life." Thomas continued his education and worked in order to pay for his educational expenses, he said. "I waited on tables, looked after furnaces, mowed lawns, kept books, worked in the wheat and cornfields during the summer, and hauled gravel on the public road construction job." No longer did he fear making speeches. The excitement he received from speaking made him desire to enter politics. He studied law and public speaking. He became editor-in-chief of the college annual and university paper. He opened a law firm, then for 13 years served in the Oklahoma Senate, became a representative from Oklahoma, and then his lifelong ambition became a United States Senator from Oklahoma. I have told this story, Thomas remarked, not to brag about my own fleeting accomplishments, which can't possibly interest anyone else. I have told it wholly with the hope that it may give renewed courage and confidence to some poor boy who is now suffering from worries and shyness and feeling of inferiority that devastated my life. Endeavor to develop a healthy self-esteem. I purposely chose the word healthy self-esteem. There are those who have a proud self-esteem. They think that they're better than everyone else. They don't listen to advice. They are the fount of all wisdom. That's destructive self-esteem. A healthy self-esteem is to accept without reservation the way you were created. You're not devastated by criticism. You're not overconfident. You're willing to take advice. You're able to laugh at yourself. You're not intimidated by others. You accept responsibility for your actions. You're willing to take risks. You're willing to stand up for your convictions. You have a sense of purpose. If you live like this, you'll have a much happier lifestyle.